I don't know about you guys, but this morning was kind of tough for me. That price action just didn't sit well with me. We were just slowly bleeding all morning. I am very hard to not jump in and or try to fade it. You just don't know if it's going to keep going, if we're going to reverse, but um, we'll get into that in 1 second. Yesterday, I did take a trade in the afternoon. I had a few trades, in the morning, and we ended red minus, like, we were at like minus 590, I think. Took a break and came back just to see if there was anything. Noticed we at 12:30 ish, we just took out some buy side right here, and then on this move down, I drew out our fib, so we have the 50%, and then like either 25 and 75 or 75 and 25, however you want to look at it. But basically broke out this move into 4 quadrants. And then we have the optimal trade entry by ICT. So we have liquidity taken out up here, a move down, and then wait for the market to move back up. We have a fair value gap on the 2-minute. I think there was one on the 1-minute too. But we have the displacement. So we had an entry up here risking only 16, 17 points, depending on where you get in. I saw we had a reaction off of that, shorted up here, stop at the highs, and targeting the lows, obviously. But on this move down, I ended up just taking my profits down here. So that got us down to like minus 360 on the day yesterday instead of minus 590, which is a lot more manageable mentally. I shouldn't have let it get that far to begin with, but it wasn't so far that 590 wasn't anything we can't recover, and 360 is that much better. So yes, I was accepting the risk of going even redder, but this is a pretty high probability setup. You have the displacement up, some trading up here, displacement back down. It's a pretty high quality setup, so I ended up taking it. For today, I was watching pre-market. We made a little bit new higher highs up here, and then we started moving down with a bunch of swings to target. I ended up taking a short. I don't like trading pre-market. It's very slow typically, but there are setups there. I ended up taking a short right in this area. So we have this little consolidation, displacement down. Took a short there, and these are 2-minute candles. So, and this just feels like forever in pre-market. And I ended up getting out less than 10 points. I was aiming for 800, the swing, or this little consolidation area. Obviously, we did end up going there right at 930. So I could have had 40, 50 points out of that, and we could have just held on to that all morning as well. But I didn't. I shouldn't have traded the pre-market to begin with, so I'm not that familiar with taking trades that aren't during normal session hours, so it's best to not take them. But it is what it is. I took it and got a little tiny win right there. Then we had just this slow grind down. We'd have like a good move and then just choppiness, and then a move again. And I wasn't sure where we were heading. I just figured, okay, well, maybe we're gonna go hit 14,700. Let's see if we can find an entry on these candles moving up. I just took a short in a fair value gap. That's not like the best setup because not every fair value gap means something, but I have an entry. I have where I can place my stop where I don't want to be in this anymore, and the risk to reward is worth it for me. I was risking 15 points, aiming for about 30, so I did end up taking a short around here. I'll turn on executions here in a second, but I like just going over the market first. So I ended up taking a short around here somewhere, and then I had my stop above like this little swing. Just figured if the market came back up here, we should respect that moving back down, or we're gonna reverse. So got stopped out for 15 points. We have on this move, we have displacement and fair value gap. At this moment, or a little bit back here, I noticed that the move this morning, we have a high, low, higher high, all this displacement. And on the 2 minute, this order block, these 3 order blocks, I like that. That is some setup. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head right now. Breaker block. So we have this breaker block where we just place all the past this, past the swing, past these up close candles. And I was expecting the market to come back up to it. And I wanted to short when we got up there. So when I saw this fair value gap, I figured this is an opportunity to get long on this fair value gap, ride it up to here, and then I could short that. Well, I rode it up to like 20 points in profit. I ended up just taking that because this loss just messed with me. I don't like taking losses, and it wasn't the best setup, so I shouldn't have even been in it to begin with. So then that made me not really trust anything moving forward. So it took 20 points out of this when it went another 20, 30 points. And then I missed my opportunity. I wanted to short at like 810. However, we only got up to 805, which it's 5 points. Like I should have just marketed in because we're close enough. And I didn't, but we had a perfect rejection off of that and then moving down. So with just reading the overall market, seeing that we have this breaker, we come back up, hit it perfectly, start moving down. Like I'm seeing the market clearly, but I'm like kind of seeing it through a fog of taking that impulsive losing trade plus that kind of impulsive pre-market trade. So it's like messing with me emotionally, although I am reading the market correctly. So I'm trying to take trades based on how I'm reading the market without that stuff affecting me. We ended up with the rejection off the breaker block, aiming for the lows. I took a short. We had a fair value gap right here. We hit it, and with the reaction off of it, that's when I got in. So I didn't get in up in the 70s. I ended up getting in like at 66. Took a short, and then we start chopping around. I'm like, man, this is just rough. Like, so we took a short around 66. I was aiming for 730. That's where I had my take profit at. As you can see, we're heading there right now. And I had my stop about 20-25 points up in this area. Like when you have a move straight up and then straight down, like we shouldn't really go back up in this area anymore because price has been delivered upside and downside. There's no need for us to trade back up there again. And we had a pretty quick move down right here, and then this scared me, so I took like, I don't know, 10, 11 points on it, and we are heading right to my take profit at 730. But I was trying to preserve my emotional capital, so a couple mistakes today, but I read the market, I think, pretty damn good, and we did end green, so I can't be I'm not upset about that. I'm disappointed about the couple of trades I took, but I'm proud of being able to read the market correctly and take trades based on that, even with taking some like losing trades. So here's the executions. Here's that pre-market trade, 46 to 38. Again, this thing, I mean, I could have held on to this all day. I've noticed in the mornings, if you can find like liquidity taken out and then you see displacement or fair value gaps and then those being respected, like you can take the next one, especially when you have all these swings. Like this was a perfect trade. We have these equal highs taken out. I just didn't trust it because I'm like, is this gonna really work in pre-market? I wasn't 100% sure. It's something I should probably go back and test and just test the pre-market sessions. And here's our loss. So I sold down here at 44, covered at 60, so 15 points, and then ended up getting in on this displacement up and then we were just respecting this fair value gap, so it worked. But we were choppy. This was just eating into my patience. And then covered at 84, and then as soon as I get out, we rip up to that breaker block and then rip straight down. So should have held on to that up here, closed it, sold, and then wrote it down. That would have been beautiful. And then here was the last trade. So fair value gap, we came up and touched it. I saw the reaction, got in down here at 66 and was targeting 730, but only took 11 points on it. Got to get back to holding longer, but we're coming off of a red day, so my patience and confidence is not all the way there. But reading today's price action, even with the choppiness, like it played out what I was expecting. I just need to wait for those certain things to happen before I get in, and not get in expecting them to happen. Wait for them to happen and then get in. Plus 222 before commissions. So it'll probably be like the low 200s after commissions. Let me know how you guys did, and talk to y'all later.